Okay, morning everybody. Let's go ahead and get this meeting started with. I'd like to welcome you all. So I hope everybody reviewed any safety precautions they had to take. And we'll get started. First on our agenda, of course, is to remind everybody about the consortium website, forums out there, best practices. Still needing feedback on there. We're still looking at cleaning up some of the buddy drive stuff, me and Jeremy. But feel free to take advantage of any of that. Go out and use the website. We have a lot of members, so it gets out to everybody, by the website. Some new topics that we have. Of course, Steve, our technical advisor, has been doing some great job with some videos for us to get onto our YouTube site. Recently uploaded is his vault setup example. Also a new video for running 3-conductor cable using the SD toolkit on Inventor. Just actually posted today was Steve's webinar that I hope some of you were able to attend on Tuesday this week. It was, but we got the recording and it just got posted up there this morning. And like to, I don't know if Steve's on the line with us today or not, but if anybody was part of that webinar that has any feedback for Steve or just questions, comments in general on any of it that might have resulted of the webinar on Tuesday. Okay, no comments out there. I thought it was Steve did a good job showing off a little bit more advanced from what you can do in the content editor as far as uploading your own parts, own assemblies that your company may have for your use, and of course getting that other information that you may need for cables, trench, conduit, kind of whatever you as your company has needs in there. So I know I've been back and forth with Steve on some of the stuff on that. Would help. He's been a great support of that. He also has a lot of documentation which is on the SDS website that shows explaining actually how to do some of that stuff. So great work that he's done there. His next webinar, configuring the database, generating parts, is scheduled for August 15th. So hopefully you got the invite for that. If you did not, feel free to contact Steve or Jeremy or myself so that we can get that information out to you, that link to the webinar. One of the new topics that we wanted to bring up for this meeting, and just because we're only, it's now July and October is quickly approaching, is if anyone has any topic ideas out there for the face-to-face meeting in October. Now, just because you have an idea doesn't mean, we're going to ask you to present or anything like that, but we're looking for ideas. We're looking at breaking up the session on Wednesday, a little bit some in the morning, maybe some novice topics, and then in the afternoon some more advanced topics based on some of the feedback that we've had recently. So I started out, I did create a forum on the website for it. So if you have any ideas, feel free to post it on this forum. You can also contact Jeremy or myself if you have anything. Also, if you have anything that you would actually like to present on, feel free to contact us. No idea is too small or simple. So if anything that you would like to see, discuss, interested in, please contact us. Some of the ideas that we've been floating around, and again, none of this stuff is definite at this point in time, but some of the ideas, early ideas that we got, we haven't had a whole lot of discussion about Inventor and Vault working together. So maybe a little bit of discussion for those that are new on it, or maybe even some advanced things on it if there's some, something in particular that anybody would like to see. So that's one of the topic ideas. Also, we've done a lot with modeling parts and building assemblies and talk about that. But we haven't really talked about drawings. So kind of wanted to throw that idea out there to see if anybody's interested. Anybody has anything they would like to cover, and actually generating drawings from your actual model in Inventor. Again, that would be maybe more of an advanced topic for some people at that. But if anybody is interested in, in that topic, wants to see any details on it. Also, another topic that I had was part assembly modeling with iLogic. Depending on how this chat goes today, I have a little example that I can show you guys of what I'm talking about there, and maybe bring it a little bit more in depth to the face-to-face on it. Just breaking down actually doing a little bit more with our assembly creating, using iLogic to do it, and basically auto-generating an assembly based on iLogic, the forms in there. So does anybody have anything at this time they would like to add to this list? Curious about anything? They said anything at all. So nothing at this time. Again, keep this in mind for as we inch towards October. It's fast approaching. If you have anything, again, it'll be down in the action items of this meeting for a reminder to the members and stuff to think about ideas and get back to Jeremy and myself. Again, a reminder about the Physical Group's YouTube channel. If the meetings for both May and June are up there. Again, we're talking about hopefully recording the face-to-face meeting in October. We'll try and resolve the issues that we had. If anybody has any other thoughts or ideas on that, feel free to pass them along. And also, don't be afraid. If you'd like to put something together, put a video together, tips and tricks, or just something neat that you're working on that you'd like to get up there. You can send that to me or Jeremy, and we'll get it posted up there for everybody to see. Best practice documents. There hasn't been a whole lot of discussion on some of this lately. We did send our ones you see here listed up to the leadership. Unfortunately, the last leadership meeting, both myself and Jeremy could not attend it, so I don't believe they had any discussion on these topics about getting these approved by the council. So hopefully next meeting that can take place. Of course, we have a lot of ongoing efforts, and I'll open it up to everyone out there to, does anybody have anything on our continued efforts, best practices that were going on, any new effort ideas, just new information at all? Anybody have anything out there as far as the best practices concerned that they would like to share at this time?
During that webinar yesterday, sorry, this is Dennis speaking. He mentioned that virtual parts don't work very well in Vault, and that he was making empty parts. So this is just holding the metadata. Maybe that could be a best practice or some further investigation to see why it doesn't work very well in Vault.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I know I haven't done a lot with virtual parts myself because of I was told that in the beginning. We use blank parts, just like with we call them blank parts, what Steve refers to as empty parts. In our construction.
Well, maybe that's a common thing then. Maybe if somebody else can sound out to see how they're doing it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Anybody else out there have anything to chime in on that? Kind of what you're looking at, Dennis? Any other thoughts, ideas out there, or anything to report on the best practices that we have going on?
Not. I can't think of anything right now.
Sure. Anybody else?
Do you have a screen up? Because I don't see anything.
You guys, is my screen not showing out there? Thought I had it up.
Not for me. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Got it. Sorry about that. If anybody else out there was
I see it now too.
I apologize for that. So again, newbie at doing some of this stuff sometimes. So blame Jeremy on it for not showing up and doing this. And he just told me, and of course, just told me this morning. So a little unprepared, but so. Okay, we got the best practice. Anybody would like to discuss, workflows, that your utility contract firm out there is working on? Just any discussion topics they'd like to bring up at this time? Okay. Anybody having any issues, concerns, improvement ideas, or anything for the toolkit out there?
I haven't been using it very much, or very little, in fact. We'll be gearing up here soon, but haven't been using it much, so I don't know what I don't know.
That's quite all right. I know in the beginning it was, it took us a little bit of a while to get using it, and um, you know, it starts out, small bits and pieces, and gradually works, and you get dive further and further into it, um, especially with adding content to the database. They've made that a whole lot better from, I know, when we first started using it.
And how long have y'all been using it? This is Robert Lee.
Here at PPO, we've had it since we got Inventor in the beginning, which is back in 15, I would say. I think it was that we had it. Back when it first started out, when the guys first started out as Automation Force, we had them in, and I know it's made some vast differences from when we first started using it. And I know I went back and forth when we started using it with those guys, and they were great support, because I kept asking the question, am I doing it wrong, or is it having a problem with the toolkit? Was kind of one of the first questions I always had with it, but they helped out a lot. I mean, there's a lot more documentation from hearing from Steve. The training on it is a lot different and a lot better today than when we first started out. So please take advantage of it. They have that email out to those guys if you do have any questions out there for it. They've been really good at responding back and helping you work through any issues that you may have. So, and also feel free to contact the consortium group too, myself, Jeremy. We can help out as well.
And I've not been using the SDS toolkit really any at all, but now I'm still new to Inventor, but I've been drawing our standards. I guess I'd still like to see more examples. I've not been able to go to the consortium. I didn't get approval for it last year, and I'm hoping to maybe be able to go this time.
Okay. Have you been able to get? I know, like Steve just did, like an advanced webinar. Were you able to attend that?
Yes,
okay.
I said it on that.
Okay, that's Steve does a great part of showing that. Also, the videos up on the YouTube channel kind of show off some of the various features that the toolkit can do, and it's using a lot of features that Inventor has, and it's tailoring them and making it easier for substation use is really what it does. So instead of where it might take a couple steps to do something, you just go to the toolkit, and it makes it a whole lot simpler to do it. And then you can put with getting into their database, you can put your parts in that you've been modeling, or your assemblies in, so that they could be easier access, easier to use to put into your models. So it does it's there to help. Okay, moving on. Let's see, we had a few action items. Let's see what I can update anybody on here. It has been going back and forth. I know it was brought up about having computers and what to actually have the software at the face-to-face meeting, that so people can actually interact with it there. Right now, I guess the way it's been going, or the feedback that we have gotten, is more on maybe having a download, or extending 30-day trials of the software for the meeting. We will keep you posted as far as we get more information on that, but that looks to be the most viable option out there, where you'd have to bring your own computers with it downloaded and installed, and they'll be offer like a passcode or something to access the software, so that you can access it there while we're there at the meeting. And maybe we can set some time up that people can play with it, or we can have a workshop type time during the meeting. So we'll see how that continues to go. I don't think there's anything else. Again, we'll get the agenda out, try and get the agenda out earlier than we have in the past, so that people know that are attending can and see what topics we're going to discuss, when we're going to discuss them, for those that are going that might want to go to various other group meetings at the time. So and we're looking into breaking the main day, probably Wednesday, to where the morning would be more novice topics, in the afternoon maybe a little bit more tailored to advanced topics. So
Do you know the actual dates?
they just actually, Trevor just sent out the email today, actually, prior to this meeting.
Yeah, hey Josh, it's October 9th to the 12th.
Yep, here's the meeting that Trevor sent up for sign up. So we just found that out today. So hopefully everybody will be able to join us. Thanks, Trevor, for getting that out.
Yeah, no worries. I think they got the hotel. I think they got a book of rooms at $199, so not too bad for San Diego.
No. No. Yep. Any other questions or anything that anybody has out there right now? All right, since we have time left and nobody really has anything, I figured I'll kind of show you guys a little bit of something I was working on. Maybe bring this a little bit more in depth to the face-to-face meeting, and go a little bit further with this an explanation, but I can show it off a little bit here since we have time and nobody else had anything to discuss or has brought up anything right now. So I'll show it to you guys. So we're working on the beginning stages of building an actual control house in Venner. And by building a control house, I'm talking the entire inside of the control house that we typically do here at PPL. We normally show elevation views of all the panels and stuff, where everything is laid out, an overall arrangement plan to the house itself. One of the thoughts that we had here is, by modeling this, we'll be able to not only place our equipment a little bit better, to allow room for it, but also, if modeling existing houses, that you'll be able to actually go into the model and see maybe where there's room for new equipment that you may be when you're upgrading a substation. So, and through this process, as we started off, we were looking at, we have control houses, different sizes, pretty much the same shape, but opening on different walls and, interior walls and whatnot. So how can we make a part a little bit easier to be able to start generating these control houses? So we're looking at here now is an assembly. It has a couple parts in here. The cubicle, which is the basic walls, and the roof. Now this is a work in progress, so it's gonna have some cleanup still being done on this. But you can see over here on the left, I have a bunch of iLogic rules in here, and basically they're running together on this forum, which has been started, where basically, somebody that would be creating a new model for the control house would open this up, they'd run this form and start basically entering the information. So in the beginning, you have, how big is your control house? And, do you have interior walls? And then locating the interior walls for that. And then it goes into openings, which walls will have openings on them. Are they single openings, double openings for a door, what have you, their location and stuff. So I'm not going to run through per se the form, but I'll show you a little bit of what it actually is doing. So if we run the rule for interior walls, it basically asks you, and again, if you go step by step in the form, it's going to go through these different steps. But running the interior walls, it's going to ask you yes or no, do you have interior walls? As right now, the model that you see here has no interior walls. But if I click on yes, it's going to actually pop in the interior wall that we're talking. Now, again, these are based on our standard to suit our design and stuff. So you can, again, tailor something that's always to your needs and wants. But you see, just by running the rule, it pops in the 2 interior walls that we would have in on this. One of the other features here on this part is the door selection. So it's basically going to run, we had to name the walls, and that's kind of what, when you saw the form, those are what those images are going to be for, to show you what wall is, wall 1, wall 2, and designate those. But basically, we can go, yes, I have an opening on wall 2, on wall 1, wall 2, I don't have an opening. So in this opening, once this command's done, you'll see this opening on wall 2, it's going to disappear. It skips wall 3 because our standard for this, obviously, we have interior walls, so we're actually going to have openings there on the wall 3 where the interior walls are. So by having the interior, this part knows that by having the interior walls, it knows that there's going to be openings on wall 3. So it just skips that question altogether. And of course, then we go to wall 4. So we could say yes to that. And you can see now on wall 2 here, it eliminated the opening on wall 2. We could take it a little bit further then. Again, kind of like the next step for this is, we're going to we want to place doors in these openings. So basically, again, by running another iLogic code here, it's going to ask for, do you want to place a door? And basically say yes. It's going to be generate a box up that you can go out to your computer, on your local drive, and select your models for your door, for your actual doors. Now they need to be downloaded locally. It's not actually going towards my vault, but it's going to reference our standard library basically on these. So if I select my door, you can see it down here. It's popped in my my door opening. I could say no if I don't want to do them at this time. Select the single door, and it'll actually do my interior walls, which I'll skip just for ease. But you can see that it'll place my doors actually in here. So basically, by running this form here that I'm creating, again, not completely done with this, but by running this form here, it's going to generate the start of my control cubicle assembly, all by just running that form in here. So it's kind of a little bit more advanced, that, using iLogic rules and to auto-generate something like this. And we're looking at other means of, other parts that we can use something like this. So I have some a little bit more advanced stuff that we're looking at. And again, slowly building on this. The more that we can automate, the more efficiency we can drive. The more that everything is the same. We won't have this done a different way, that done a different way. We can do everything the same way, and we increase our speed at putting this stuff together, and it allows for not only doing new stuff, but allows for getting brownfield models built. If you want to build an existing sub that you're doing work to that you don't have in 3D, this will help speed up that process. So any questions out there for this that I can answer maybe now, or curious about anything?
This is all stuff that y'all done in-house?
Yes. And I don't profess to be a expert at iLogic. This is pretty much, self-taught, by scouring the web to help with this, talking to others about it. But this is, some beginning stages of what you can do with some of this stuff.
Have you put any equipment inside yet?
No, not. We're currently building the pieces and stuff for that. So this is kind of where our starting base for it to get started. But we're looking at building, and we're basically doing some basic cabinets, and they're not going a whole lot of detail, but we want to be able to capture where the cabinets are, be able to reference them and see about where they might link up with ACAD-E. That might be, what we'll do with those as far, we're kind of waiting on ACAD-E to get a little bit more up to speed from our inventor side. But we want to capture like our cable tray, stuff, the material that we'd actually need that would go in. There's a lot of material that's ordered, just for the control house. So that's, we're the main thing what we're after right now. Anything else? Anybody have anything else they'd like to share possibly at this? We have some time. We kind of quick flew through things today. I don't know if anybody out there, wants to discuss anything or has anything else they'd like to share.
Thanks, Josh. That iLogic stuff looks great.
Thanks, Trevor. Okay, well, if nobody has anything else today, that was all kind of I had. Again, what I kind of just showed you guys quick and stuff, I'm hoping maybe to bring to, as one of the topics for our face-to-face and go a little bit more in depth into, how we created this part, or assembly, I should say, to show a little bit more, how it was created, how you can, how it functions and whatnot. To just, give people the idea, some more advanced ideas of what you can do with some of your parts, and how you can use the software. So keep thinking of, any ideas that you might have of anything else that you want to see or discussed at the face-to-face, and shoot myself or Jeremy a line. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.